and I'm very glad to have this opportunity to debate this motion in the House this evening. And I do actually have a long list of questions for the Sinn Féin party in relation to their alternative and programme of affordable leasehold purchase homes. It does sound convoluted because it is, and it sets out vague but complicated terms. A leasehold arrangement whereby purchasers would not own the land that the home is built on and would be restricted in whom they could sell the home to. And since the alternative plan was announced last Council, I have tried to ascertain further details from the Sinn Féin party, but to little avail, actually to no avail. And last Council, I'm now growing increasingly concerned about the design of the scheme and the uncertainty that it's actually creating. Most fundamentally, at the centre of this flawed scheme is the fact that the party opposite and their housing spokesperson cannot provide any assurances as to the role of the commercial lenders and specifically whether or not they will provide mortgages on this scheme. Mary Lou MacDonald earlier today corrected the Dáil record in relation to a very serious incorrect claim she had made. And I won't conflate the two issues. However, they're both very serious issues. I do want to give her the opportunity to also correct the record in relation to comments she made on the This Week programme on Sunday the 29th of September. I think this is crucially important as she's the leader of the main opposition party and she was questioned in detail about their alternative housing plan. And during the course of that interview, Mary Lou MacDonald was questioned in relation to whether or not the party has confirmation that the commercial banks would lend under the Sinn Féin programme of affordable leasehold purchase homes. Her exact response, and I'm quoting her, is, yes, the banks will lend. But, didn't interrupt Owen once, but we know this is not correct. Deputy O'Brien knows this is not correct, and it's also very misleading. Deputy O'Brien himself admits that there are concerns to be addressed with their scheme. And I have to say, alas, Council, Deputy O'Brien's proposed solutions to the concerns are simply quite bizarre. On October the 3rd, Owen O'Brien, in response to questions from the Business Post in relation to security risks and securitisation risks with the scheme, referenced his preference that the state would step in and purchase a mortgage where the owner defaults on that mortgage. Deputy O'Brien went further by confirming that he would amend and extend the mortgage to rent scheme to cover the homes in their leasing arrangement. This effectively gives a state guarantee for mortgages under the scheme. So given Sinn Féin's commitment to delivering 25,000 such homes, are they actually suggesting that they will effectively guarantee €6.25 billion worth of mortgages? So more questions for Sinn Féin and Deputy O'Brien. Are they seriously suggesting the creation of a two-tier mortgage system in the state? Do they recognise the inherent unfairness of a cohort of purchasers having a state guarantee, a safety net that he's providing, if they were to default on their mortgage, while the majority of other mortgage holders would not? Are they aware, or have they had conversations around the state aid issues for such a guarantee scheme? And to further complicate matters, Deputy O'Brien also stated that there would be some instances, this was trying to get himself off the hook, where the state would not secure the home. He did not clarify those circumstances where that would happen, and maybe he'd take the opportunity this evening to clarify that as well. I'm also interested in what Deputy O'Brien has to say to a couple earning the average wage on a joint income of €90,000. And you floundered on this, Owen, the last time we debated this on RTE. His plan excludes them entirely from the Sinn Féin scheme. Through his plan, he is telling them, Sinn Féin don't want to know about you. Does Deputy O'Brien not think the so-called Garda and nurse couple deserve their assistance, a couple and €90,000? Or whether he thinks people will fall for their mean-spirited stamp duty exemption? They proudly announced, while scrapping current government supports, that they will introduce a €4,500 stamp duty exemption for first-time buyers. Again, he was caught out on this, and under government supports, Between Help to Buy and the First Home Scheme, the first-time buyers of new homes can avail of up to €100,000. So will you be upfront with those who are planning on buying their home and tell them that they will be €95,000 worse off under the Sinn Féin plan? And last Count Corla, among the uncertainties around their flawed programme of affordable leasehold purchase homes, we actually do have some firm commitments from Sinn Féin. We have a commitment from them that they will end the Help to Buy scheme that's helped over 50,000 buyers to date. They will abolish the First Home Bridge the Gap scheme, which has already helped 5,700 approvals and 11,000 registrations. They'll even restrict the vacant and derelict property grants, which have more than 6,000 approvals. They'll abolish the Land Development Agency, who will deliver 14,000 new affordable and social homes by 2028. Schemes that have started, schemes that are delivering, including Shangana Castle, which was just launched last month. You'll also close the Creekona Apartment Supply Scheme for owner-occupiers, and you'll stop the tenant purchase scheme, meaning no social housing tenant can aspire to own their own home. Really, their plan should be called, and it should be called, a home you'll never own. Funnily enough, last Count Corla.
Deputy, please.
Deputy,
please let the Minister finish. Please.
Oh, and misleading the House shouldn't be a phrase that will come out of your mouth. Funnily enough, last Count Corla, despite their public pronouncements on the government schemes, I regularly receive parliamentary questions from many of your own colleagues in Sinn Féin asking for enhancements to the schemes they say they will scrap. What this government has proved that in our plan Housing for All, now in its third year of implementation, it's working in bringing affordability to the housing market. Housing for All and the Affordable Housing Act of 2021 have put in place the schemes and the funding to allow government to intervene and support households on average wages who are currently priced out of the new housing market. The government's providing €5.1 billion this year in 2024 to accelerate delivery of new homes, increase the supply and moderate house and rental prices. And this is bearing fruit. Some 128,000 homes have been added to or brought back into the national housing stock since January 2020 to the end of Q2 of this year, including more than 116,000 new build homes, 1,800 units in unfinished housing developments built out, and 10,000 or so vacant properties brought back into use. The number of mortgage drawdowns, real mortgages by first-time buyers, is growing, with first-time buyer drawdowns reaching a new peak of almost 26,000 in 2023. That's the highest level since 2007. And specifically, on the issue of affordability, 8,500 affordable housing supports have been delivered since the launch of Housing for All via approved housing bodies, local authorities, the Land Development Agency, which you'd scrap, the First Home Scheme, which you'd scrap, cost rental tenants in situ and the vacant property refurbishment grant, which you'd restrict, supports which didn't exist 3 years ago. Is it enough? No. Will we do more? Of course we will. Yes, we will. With a continued strong performance in the second half of this year, the government is on track to meet and exceed delivery of our affordable homes target this year, the target set of 6,400. And last Count Corla, I'll finish on this, and I don't say this lightly. The alternative plan that Sinn Féin have brought forward is dangerous, full of uncertainties, full
prices people can actually afford. What's dangerous about that, Minister?
Deputy,
please.
Last Count Corla, he might be doing this for a video clip. I didn't interrupt him once. I sat there and listened to him.
How is bringing down new house prices dangerous, Minister? Really? In what world?
Deputy O'Brien, there's a chairperson here, thanks.
We have a plan that's working on the ground.
Deputy. Okay.
Deputy O'Brien, you might just show some respect. I'm endeavouring to. I didn't interrupt Deputy O'Brien once. I know he gets a little bit hot-headed from time to time. The reality of it is that his plan is full of holes, that his promise of home ownership is an illusion. It's a convoluted illusion of leasehold affordable purchase that not one bank has said they would lend to. That it is a scheme that would restrict who someone could sell their property to and create a two-tier affordable housing system within the country, a two-tier mortgage system. And he knows it, that will not work. That's why he has not responded to any of the correspondence that I've sent him. That's why he cannot answer that in any of the debates. So he picks out figures out of the sky because he believes that they will be popular. The reality of it is the public see through your alternative plan, which is a home that you'll never own, because that's what Sinn Féin are proposing.